What's up, my fellow creators? Welcome, guys. I hope you're having a beautifully, phenomenally blessed day. Thank you for joining me for a moment in Topics with Becky. This is the grief series. Today we are going down the rabbit hole with the grief and frustration, I think is what this is called. So before we get into it, please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel down below, set that notification bell so you always know when the next video does go live. And I just want to thank you to my OGs, my new Gs, and anybody that allows me your most precious asset, your time. I'm truly honored, blessed, and privileged being here, giving you guys these messages. And my prayer, as always, is that they fall upon your heart in a way that reminds you to use your intuition, your discernment, to take back your power, to make the best decisions, to live your highest journey in this now moment. So, guys, what I wanted to bring this up is because one thing that I have noticed along the way is that sometimes someone will be in a state of grief. And as humans, sometimes we put a timestamp on that and we believe that, you know what, if it's been 10 years, say, this is just an example, it's been 10 years. And as humans, we're like, oh, well, you should be over that. You should be moved on from that. And you have to understand, like, it doesn't have a time frame, right? Like, everybody's process takes longer, shorter, different times. Like, it doesn't matter. There's no reason to put a time frame on when somebody should be over their grief, you know, and especially now when we come from a generation that we have a hard time supporting each other. We all want to be supported, but there's so many of us that don't offer that support back to another. It's like, I'll take it, but I can't give it, okay? And I'm not saying you're like that. I'm just saying that that is definitely the kind of generation that we live in, right? Not when people would stand beside one another during the hard times and let someone grieve or get it out or talk about it or experience it and release it. And what brought this up was that I had noticed, it was actually a show I was watching, and I had noticed this family that was, and it was a true story, guys. This was a true situation, I guess a reality TV show. No, I'm not one of those. It was just something I was watching and I was like, wow, this like totally made me realize something that needs to be discussed. And so I feel like my neck needs to pop. Okay, guys, sorry. Anyways, this family was mad at this lady who had lost her husband, and she just didn't know what to do. Like, she was so lost after losing her husband, and I can't imagine. I don't know what that is. I know what it is to experience grief, but I don't know what that is, and I can't imagine. You know, that's your partner, the person you pledged your life to, the person that you went through with thick and thin, right? And the story is that they really went through it together, but the family was so critical of her, saying that that was 20 years ago. Like, you need to just get over it. And she's like, you know, closed off to them at this point, because I'm sure it's not the first time that she had heard it. She probably heard it for the whole 20 years. Like, you need to move on. You need to get over it. And it's like, we as individuals who have not experienced that certain type of situation have to allow ourselves to open up to placing ourselves in a moment in their shoes. You know, if you have a husband or a wife, like how would you feel? You know, are you really in a rush to move on, or would it really tear you apart? And I know it seems disheartening to try and even think about those situations, but it is in thinking about death and thinking about experiencing what it is to lose loved ones that we are able to appreciate them more in this now moment. And death is different for everybody. You know, some people can handle it well, and others it destroys them. And there's no saying as to why, except that as humans, we do not know how to experience our emotional body. And that could come from a number of things. It could come from abuse. It could come from neglect. It could come from abandonment. The belief at the end of the day comes down to our emotional ego has basically told us that it is not okay to feel. Even for those of us that just brush it off, right? Because I think there's a lot of people that just brush it off. It's like, oh, well, it happened. Oh, well. No, not oh, well. It happened. How do you feel? So I bring this up because the people that are outside of this person who's experiencing this were beginning to get frustrated with her because it was like, you should be over this. You should be over this. And they started treating her like a little child. And she was a grown woman. And I'm sitting there thinking this whole time, it's like, can someone just ask her? Talk to me about it. Tell me about it. Not complain about it. I need to know what's going on with you ever since this happened. And it was like, as the show progressed, eventually somebody came out and said that. And it was weird because it's like, as I was watching this, it was like, they didn't even ask it that way. They just basically, she had a meltdown. Okay, this is what happened. She had a meltdown and they ended up having to listen. Like, it was just like, she couldn't even walk because she was crying so hard. She fell to her knees and just let it out and screamed at her husband. It was just like, why did you leave me? Why did you leave me like this? Why did you leave me? And kept asking that. And it was like, finally, everybody that was involved could take a step back and see, wow, like we never even realized what it was that she was experiencing due to this situation. So when you guys are in a situation, if you've experienced this, okay, if you have experienced this situation and you're trying to figure out, how do I get over it? I'm telling you, you need to find someone to talk to. Just be like, look, I need to get something off my chest and I just need you to not say anything until I'm finished. Even if I start crying, even if I start yelling, even if it's not at you, I just need to tell somebody so that you can get it out. Holding it in is just compartmentalizing it so that every time a person outside of you gets frustrated with you, your emotional ego says, oh, this is a warning sign. We can't feel, we can't experience what we've experienced. So I got to push it down. Let me push it down. Let's bottle it up. And then eventually you're going to blow, right? Eventually you're going to blow. It's not going to be a good situation. And if, for those of you that are on here, are the ones that are getting frustrated with somebody that's going through grief, can you be brave enough to be that person to be like, look, just tell me what's going on with you. I'm here to listen. Get it out. Get it out. You know, it's not even about going to therapy. It's not even about having that counseling. Just, again, bringing it back to how we're in a generation that does not help one another willy-nilly. Some people do, but there's a huge majority of people who don't. They'll just stand by and watch as someone melts down into the ground, into nothingness. And they'll be like, oh, well, I hope that never happens to me. Don't you want someone to reach out and help? So if you can be brave enough just to be the shoulder that they need to cry on, you could be a life changer for them. And I'm not saying this so that you can be. I'm saying that that is something that you can do. And that is being human. That's compassion. That's love. Death is probably the hardest thing we experience as living. Because it means there's no going back. You know, if you lose a material thing, chances are you're going to replace it, right? Think about that. Like, you crack the screen on your phone. Like, yeah, it's upsetting. You experience a loss. You may feel it. You may cry about it. You may get mad about it. Eventually, though, you're going to replace it. Death is the only thing we can't replace. You lose a relationship, you can replace a relationship. You lose a home, you can replace a home. You lose a job, you can replace a job. You lose a family, you can replace a family. You lose a friend, an acquaintance. It's all replaceable with something or someone else. But death is final in this 3D world. There's no replacing it. Like, oh, I lost a mother, let me get another one. Oh, I lost my brother, let me get another one. No. It doesn't work like that. Yes, eventually you'll bounce back and eventually you'll be able to have others in those positions in your life. It's not about that. People who you trust, people who you love. But it's like if you break up with somebody and you love them so much that you might go back to them years later, right? You can't do that in death. You can't. So I'm saying just take a moment and put yourself in those person's shoes, or put yourself in a position of being brave to talk about it wherever you're at. It was just so telling for me that she was surrounded by family members, guys. There's probably about 13 or 14 family members there, and not a single person asked her, what's going on with you? They were just so shocked at the situation that she was in. They were so shocked at what it was that she was doing with her life. They were so shocked at her and her actions that no one thought to ask, why are you acting like that? You know, you ever ask a kid that? Why are you acting like that? What's up? Tell me what's up. Why are you mad? What's going on? Don't treat grown people like kids. I know it's like, well, what if they act like a kid? That's fine. I get that, but that's on them. That doesn't mean that we as other people outside of the situation get to continue to treat them like they've been treated before. The way to change the world is to be the change that you wish to see. So if someone is treating another person like a child, can you step in and treat them like an adult? Because it changes the world. The same is with grief. Grief can either make us stronger or break us. And I can't explain why. I can't. I don't know. It's just some of us do not have the capability to deal with it. The capacity. There's no room. So I bring this up and I encourage you guys, keep an open mind and keep an open heart in anybody that is experiencing a tough situation. You could be the reason their life changed for the better, and you can also become the reason their life changed for the worse. Just like someone can for us, right? I love you guys so very much. I'm sending you out my heartfelt wishes and blessings. Please like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel down below. Set that notification bell so you always know when the next video does go live. And until next time, go forth boldly, my fellow creators, and courageously find creative ways to live in life, laughter, and love. Until we meet each other again. Peace out. I love y'all. Bye.